I think this is really a great example of seeing, like, we shouldn't see data analytics as something that we do on the side. It has become a fundamental component of business models. And I would argue that moving forward, machine learning will become another fundamental component of pretty much every business out there. So I want to spend a little bit of time to look at how can we build smarter applications using machine learning. And it turns out that machine learning, for the longest period of time, it has been the domain of experts. You had to sometimes have a PhD to really understand how machine learning worked. But we have been hiring some of these experts for a long time. For over 20 years, we have a heritage of machine learning within Amazon as a wider business. If you think about Amazon.com, I should say Amazon.in here in India, if you go onto that website, you look at the products, you get recommendations that are personalized for you. It tells you, hey, customer who bought this also bought that. That's machine learning. If you look at some of our fulfillment centers, we have fulfillment centers that do a complete automatic fulfillment using robots, use machine learning, using inventory management techniques, where we use machine learning to better predict how we store goods, machine learning. If you look at Amazon Prime, you have drones that are able to deliver packages to the footstep of your door in certain parts of the world, machine learning. If you think about these Amazon Echo devices and the Alexa voice services that are powering these voice-driven interactions that you can have with it, machine learning. And we can even go ahead and reinvent completely an experience that you can have from a retail perspective. Amazon Go allows you to walk into a shop, scan a QR code from your phone, take any kind of food or items that you want to have, and just walk out. And we automatically charge your Amazon account based on what you actually took off the shelves using machine learning. And if you make machine learning accessible to our builders, we can spark lots of different ideas. And that's what's happening within Amazon as a whole the entire time. We want to enable people to say, yes, we want to make machine learning easy for you to use so you can come up with new ideas. You want to classify items? No problem. You want to do a counterfeit good detections? No problem. You want to build a better search capabilities that understands the intents of a specific users, or you want to estimate the demand? Use machine learning. And a lot of the customers that we have on AWS, tens of thousands of them, are building machine learning platforms using the AWS services on top of us. Lots of international customers, Astra in Malaysia, Finra in the US, Vonage, GumGum. Even here in India, Matt, Shaadi, Ola, Haptic, build chatbot functionalities. That's machine learning. And so if you think about all the stuff that we've been doing as Amazon for over 20 years, and all these customers that build on top of our platform to build machine learning models, you could ask, well, what have we learned? It turns out that if you want to do machine learning effectively, you need to rethink your stack. You need to rethink how you actually build machine learning models. Because, as I mentioned earlier, we have massive amounts of data that are streaming in, potentially infinite amount of data. So we need true cloud scale. We need true scalability, hyperscale compute at any point in time. And we need extensibility. If you ask a data scientist, what's your favorite tool? If you ask 10, you get 10 answers. You need to have the ability to use any kind of framework or interface. And you need to constantly iterate. Machine learning is not a one-time effort. You don't go out, you build a model, and then you're done. You iterate, you learn, and you keep learning, and you keep experimenting. And you want to give your data scientists or data professionals the ability to experiment when they build machine learning models. Train, deploy, and operate it seamlessly without too much friction. And you want to make it accessible to anyone in your company. If you go out there and say, machine learning, that's for the data scientist, not a good idea. Look at how you can make it available for all your developers, for all your data science, for all your analysts, for all your business professionals. Every IT professional should get access to be able to build machine learning models. And let me zoom in into some of the points I'm trying to make here. I said infinite data, and some of you might challenge me. Infinite, come on. There's no infinite data. But think about it. Think about what's happening. We have an explosion of data points, and they stream into our platforms, into our data lakes, at a continuously increasing, expanding rate. And we keep historical records because we want them for future data analysis. And it really has never been easier or cheaper to actually collect and store data. So that's why we're doing it. So you just start having that massive amount of data that flows in, potentially infinite amount of data. And some of that data is new data, right? It's created somewhere in my cloud environment, great, in huge volumes, your click streams, your mobile applications that stream data in, fantastic. How about that old data, that existing data that I have? I mentioned earlier, snowball, snowmobile. These are services that can help you to migrate massive amounts of data aggressively to your cloud computing environment, to Amazon S3. And why would we do that? Well, why do we put that focal point onto data? Because we can plug algorithms behind it. Machine learning algorithms that allow us to build a machine learning model. And why do we do that? Because now, every new incoming data point that I get, I can start making predictions against that data point. And that can be useful to create more seamless experiences, that can be useful for automation, efficiency, it can even be useful for scientific breakthrough. Our vision here is, how can we put machine learning into the hands of every developer and every data scientist? And that is really multifold, because it comes with application services. An API call, you get access to a machine learning model, you never needed to understand how to train that. Down to platform services. Build machine learning models without understanding the algorithm and just bring the data and customize it for you. All the way down to the bottom layer where you say, well, if I'm a data scientist, I want to have the ability to use any kind of frameworks to build my own custom model. And let me zoom in into that for a bit. We want to give you complete control over the entire stack. No matter what framework you want to use, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Scikit, CNTK, Caffe, or you use interfaces like Keras or Gluon, it doesn't matter. Any of these frameworks are not only supported on AWS, but we actually optimize the underlying infrastructure to run better and more efficiently on these frameworks. And last year, we launched the EC2 P3 instances that come with the latest and greatest NVIDIA Tesla V100 GPU. Up to 1 petaflop of compute power with mixed precision. 5,120 tensor cores on a single unit. And if you think about machine learning, when you train, you need that power. And we optimize those frameworks for the underlying hardware. And that really results then into a much better price-performance ratio that you find in AWS than with any other cloud provider. And if you think about building machine learning models, where do we actually spend our time? We build models, and we train them, and we deploy them. That's kind of the main rough 3 areas that you spend your time on if you want to build your own machine learning models. And so we launched Amazon SageMaker to really help anybody out there to say, how can we make those 3 pillars easier? You want to build your machine learning model? Amazon SageMaker gives you the capabilities to run notebooks. Notebooks allow you to explore your data and test your hypothesis. But not only do we give you the ability of these managed notebooks, it actually comes with pre-built notebooks for some of those common problems. You just load it up, you load your data in, and you can start experimenting with it. Even better, we give you built-in high-performance machine learning algorithms. Let me clarify here for a moment. You get access to the same machine learning models that we as Amazon have been using, and we make them available to you, to the Amazon SageMaker service as an inbuilt algorithm. And you can just start using it. You just bring your data, and you train a machine learning model on an algorithm that you don't even need to understand. And if you say, I'm confident enough to build more machine learning models, no problem. As mentioned earlier, we're open to any framework that you want to use. And we got SDKs and integrations of those frameworks into Amazon SageMaker. And now when you're ready and you say, OK, I will now want to build my machine learning model, I train it against my data set, click of a button, and it starts training. It automatically brings up the infrastructure, trains the model. When it's done, it shuts itself down. And you find that when you have a machine learning model, you actually have different parameters to that machine learning model. Depending on how you adjust those parameters, machine learning model has a better or lower accuracy. We provide you with hyperparameter optimization, HPO. We automatically find the best parameter settings to have the optimal accuracy in your model. And when you get the best model, you can say, now I want to deploy it. How do I deploy it? An API call, a click of a button, it gets deployed, and of course, fully managed. Deployed model, HTTPS endpoint that scales, auto-scaling, scales to the incoming predictions, fully managed for you. Let me go to those inbuilt algorithms for a moment. What if I want to build an image classification model? What if I want to build a specific image classifier for objects that are specific to my company? I can learn about convolutional neural networks or ResNets and what have you and build that myself, or I can use the inbuilt image classifier algorithm that comes with SageMaker, and all I need to do is I take the images, I label them, I say, SageMaker, train it for me, out comes a model, and now new pictures that come in can be classified. And the same goes for, what if you have inventory data and you want to predict your sales activity? We have an inbuilt algorithms for clustering. You can cluster, new items are coming in, you can predict sales activity. How about fraudulent activities? Well, if you have purchase history, put it through the logistics regression, the linear learner that we have. It's an inbuilt algorithm in Amazon SageMaker, comes out a model, and now new purchases that come in, you push it against it, and you can predict with a certain accuracy, well, is this potentially a fraudulent transaction that I'm having here? What that means is Amazon SageMaker now takes care of your algorithms and your models from the building, the training, and the deploying, and all you need to bring is your data, and you build your custom model. And that goes in every sense of that pipeline of machine learning. Collecting, preparing your data, choosing that algorithm, setting up and managing that, training, tuning that model, deploying it out, and then securely and safely manage that in a production environment, all part of SageMaker fully managed. And that's one of the reasons you find that lots of different customers are using Amazon SageMaker, Grammarly, Realtor, Cox Motive, Expedia Group. They're using Amazon SageMaker to build their machine learning models a little bit more effectively. And I mentioned we want to put machine learning into the hands of every developer and data scientist. Every developer. Any developer should get access to machine learning. And that's where the application services really come in. Services like Amazon Recognition Video, Poly, Amazon Lex, Comprehend. These services allow you, with an API call, to get access to computer vision models, fully trained and managed by AWS. Amazon Recognition allows you to do facial analysis, recognition, celebrity matching, image moderation, object detection, all the way to natural language processing services, translation, natural language understanding, build complete chatbot functionalities using Amazon Lex with a few clicks of a button in a console without ever needing to understand the underlying machine model. And that's quite powerful. So powerful that a lot of customers are using our fully managed machine learning application services, PopNut, Acro, PopSugar, CloudJet, in India, Haptic, Shaadi, Policy Bazaar, Molarity. All these companies say, I make an API call and I get access to a fully managed and trained machine learning model. So if you think about it, it's really about that stack where you pick and choose for your level of comfort of what helps you. You start off with the application service. You say, is there something where I can make an API call and it helps my problem? Great. I want to customize it, put it into the platform service. I want to go really deep, use the frameworks and interfaces. If you haven't heard of the URL, please go to aws.amazon.com, our website, /ML, to find a lot more information about this.